Phoenix was going to get swept, didn't you? I did. I really did. I thought it was over. They were getting their asses beat. Multiple games. The ghost of Chris Paul just pulled his groin, and then the series flipped on its head. Truthfully, everything changed. Phoenix now ties the series with the number 1 seed Nuggets. Behind the usual suspects, of course, we wanted big performances from Devin Booker. We got 36 from him. Of course, you get 36 from Kevin Durant. And then 19 from Check's Notes, Landry Shamet. Landry Shamet. Four threes in the final quarter of action. Just nail in the coffin after nail in the coffin. Forced the Denver Nuggets himself 2 big threes, 2 separate timeouts called by Denver. Like, oh shit, we cannot be letting Landry Shamet's little ass be sending us home. And he did. Shamet was just in absolute sniper mode. Every time Denver got close, Landry Shamet pulled up from deep, and it was wet. I don't understand it. And the bench showed up for the first time pretty much all series, scored 40. The bench scored 40. They were getting like 4 points off the bench before Chris Paul got injured. All of the bench was in plus numbers. All of the Suns starting lineup was negative. Wild that the series was saved by its shallow bench, but props to Jock Landale, TJ Warren, Terrence Ross, and of course Landry Shamet. Landale was an impressive plus 16 for the game. He was balling, which brings up an interesting point. I need to know, is this Phoenix Suns team better without Chris Paul? I don't mean it in a Stephen A. Smith way. I actually mean this. I actually think this team is better. For whatever reason, Monty would not go to Terrence Ross. He would not play them. He would not play Landry. He would not play Campaign. He was running out 6 deep, getting no production. I think Landry had like 2 minutes in game 1. I think Terrence Ross got a DNP CD. I think our man TJ Warren, DNP CD. And then all of Monty's plans went to hell in a handbasket, and now he had to make adjustments and find some guys on the bench who he knew could score buckets, and now it's tied 2-2. It might have saved Monty's job. Chris Paul's injury might have saved Monty's job. And I think this is why. Chris Paul is a turtle. He is slow. Let's be honest. His playoff pedigree is built off of slow playing it up the floor, putting his butt into someone's chest when he's backing him down even 94 feet away from your rim, and just setting up this offense, slow, methodical, point guard shit. But maybe, just maybe, that makes the Phoenix Suns worse. Maybe, just maybe, they need to be playing faster. They need to be getting easier buckets in transition. Maybe DeAndre Ayton thrives in a faster, up-tempo offense. Same thing with Devin Booker. Same thing with Kevin Durant. Maybe half-court offense is hard because the defense is set. They have had all this time to settle their defense down and figure out what you want to do. But the big story, though, really revolves around Jokic and this controversy. Have you heard about it? He put up 53. He was incredible. 20 of 30 from shooting. But he also managed to get himself squarely involved in some conflict that could possibly affect the entire series. With 2.5 minutes left in the first half, this is what happened. Jokic was scrambling out of bounds for the ball. Jokic tried to get the ball, which happened to fall into a fan's hand. The fan refused to give up the ball. Literally was holding on to it like it was his baby. Jokic grabbed it, pulled it away from him, shoved the fan down, tried to get the ball thrown to him, squirted into another fan, tried to get the ball. Then that first fan got into his face, and Jokic seemed to put his shoulder into him, and the fan flew to the ground. It was a flop. It was an egregious flop. In other words, the video showed that he maybe sort of kind of went into the stands and, I don't know, Malice in the Palace him. You know what I mean? Just a little shove in the stands. Put his shoving into the guy. Who was this fan that Jokic shoved? This guy, Matthew Ishbia. Turns out Matthew Ishbia is the new billionaire owner of the Phoenix Suns. So Jokic shoves an NBA owner courtside for refusing to give the ball up and get out of the way. And that owner, Matt Ishbia, flopped like a La Liga forward dating one of those supermodels that never smile. It was a very soft move. I respect the hell out of Matt Ishbia, former Spartan, for pulling that. That's something that only Tom Izzo can teach. Matt Ishbia, Draymond Green, same guy. Same guy. The big problem, though, is that the league's kind of fucked because they're not going to want to suspend Jokic for that bullshit. But it was against the rules. It was. The rules are very clear. You can, one, not go into the stands. Period. You cannot put your hands on a fan for any reason. There's a tiny bit of wiggle room because they say that Jokic wasn't really in the stands. He was courtside. He was on the sidelines. Very thin argument. He did kind of sort of push a fan. Even Ishbia was like, hey, I'm not trying to I want us to win with Jokic. We don't want him to get suspended. But I am not sure what the league is going to do. It is a conundrum. The question is, what would have happened if it was Draymond and not Jokic? Booker said after the game when asked about it, he got us a point. He did his job. He did. It was a technical foul, and they got a point out of it. In a series that could be swayed very easily by a suspension by a star player, but listen, those non-Jokic minutes are rough. A non-Jokic game is pretty much a win for the Phoenix Suns, and we got some drama on our hands. And it's not been on the court, and that is a shame because after two ugly, gross first two games, this series has gotten very fun very fast. So no one wants to see the Joker suspended, but it is all in Adam Silver's hands now, and we will see what he does.